Hello friends, my name Dr. Sunil Kumar Jatap. Today I am going to discuss about the pattern and its functions. This is the fifth lecture of metal casting technology. So you are welcome in my channel Meta Engineering. So what is the pattern? So pattern is the replica of the object to be made by the casting process with the some modifications. We can say if we have to produce any objective, we have to do the castings. First we have required to prepare the mold. So mold is prepared with the help of the pattern. Without pattern we can't produce a mold cavity, and we can't produce any mold cavity. So without mold cavity you can't get the any objective. So pattern is the first process of the any casting process, because first we have to produce, we have to prepare a pattern. That pattern is used for the formation for making the mold cavity. So pattern is very important. So for making the pattern we can use the many suitable materials like plaster, metals, wax, rubber. So it depends on the availability of the materials. It also depends on the cost of the materials. It also depends on the which metal is going to be the cast. So according to, we have to use the different pattern materials. So here I have shown this is the pattern, and by using this pattern we form this mold cavity. So this is the role of the pattern. And what is the some modification we have to do? So these are like the addition of the pattern allowance. Pattern allowance is the provided to the pattern, and that not provided for the mold cavity. So the provision of the core print. So core print is the part of the pattern, but it not reflect on the your object. That also form in your mold cavity, for where we have required the core. So core block this core print in the mold, but it is used generally to guide the core, so properly placed in the mold cavity, and it also hold the core. So it does not display it from its positions by the metallostatic force. So this is the this core print is provided for this purpose. Second is the elimination of the fine detail. So elimination of fine detail means, some details means, if you have to produce the some uh, uh, objective which all the things are not produced by the pattern. So some we can produce by using the some further processes, like we can do machining, and some other by using the some other process we can provide it some fine details. So these are the some modifications in the pattern and your objective, but it is the similar to your objective. So we can say it is the replica of the objective that going to be produced by the casting process. So a pattern is the principal tool during the casting process. So the quality of the casting produced depends largely on the material of the pattern and design of the pattern and construction process of the pattern. So how much the quality of your objective, it depends on these factors. So if your pattern have the good surface finish, obviously your mud cavity have the good surface finish, so that will be the reflect on your the objective. So your objective is also get the good surface finish. So quality is greatly depends on the materials which is used for making the pattern, and what is the design of the pattern and how it is construct, what is the process of making the pattern. That is the greatly depend. That is greatly affect the quality of your casting, and the cost of the pattern and other related equipments which are used in the casting process, that also reflect in the cost of the casting. So the all the cost of a whole casting process, it depends which type of the pattern you have used, and what material you have used for the pattern. Like you used the brass, for making the pattern. So it is the very costly, and if you use the plastic or rubber, that is the not costly as the brass, or as you use the metal. So it is depends what will be the cost. So you have to decide, sir, which material you have to use as per your requirement. And like you want to produce the casting of aluminium, so you have to use the material which has the higher fusion point, and which has the some proper property of the materials. So it's depends on the it's depends which material you have used. Like you used the you used some metallic pattern, so it is not economical when you used for the very less number of the casting. So for the number of casting you have to produce, then you use the metallic pattern, unless you have to use the some wood patterns or some other materials pattern for the less number of the pattern. So it's depend on your desire. So the use of the expensive pattern can be compensated when the where the large quantity of casting is required. So a loose pattern can be made for the wood. Soft variety of wood uh, can be used when only the few casting are needed. So very large number of casting are required and are to be repeatedly produced. So patterns should be made in metal or epoxy resin and mounted on pattern plate 4 on uh, molding machine. So this is the pattern. What is the pattern you can learn here, and how your pattern is differentiated by your final objective. So there have the some modifications, and so everything you have to understand here. So now we will discuss the functions of the pattern. So there have the many purposes of the pattern. So first purpose is that to produce the mold cavity. But beside the mold cavity, the pattern also have the some other purposes. So what is these purposes? Like the molding the gating system, establishing the parting line, making the core prints, establishing the locating point, minimizing the casting defects attributable to the pattern, providing for the ram of core, and providing the economy in the molding. So the functions all the functions are of the pattern. So besides to producing the mold cavity, the pattern also have the some other purposes. So we can discuss one by one this. So first is molding the gating system. So gating system is required to properly pouring and introducing the metal into the mold cavity be attached to the pattern. So the gating system is generally used for properly flow of the metal, smooth flow of the metal, so there should not be the some erosion. So this can be avoid the formation of the dross. So gating system is provided in the pattern which is the attached. So riser and gates are the part of the gating system which attach to the pattern. Gating system may often the benefits of the machining. Second function is establishing the parting line. So on the flat pattern, the flat pattern plate, the parting surface is the simple plane. So you have the simple plane. There have the two parts like cop and drag that can be used by the flat surface. If the mold have the some curved surface because of their size and their shape, and these are the established by the pattern where match plate or cop and drag plates can be the used. Use the pattern required that the parting surface be the cut by the hands, or that the follow boards or match be the constructed for establishing the parting surface in the successive mold. So the parting line is the provided here. That is depends on the pattern. Pattern provided the different parting line. If the parting line flat, the you simply a simple plane can be the used. Simple surface, parting surface can be used. And if I have the some there have no supports in the bottom, so the follow board can be used, because the follow board is follow the shape of your casting. Establishing the locating point, so foundry, pattern shop or machine shop employ the locating points or the surface on the casting to check the casting dimensions. And machining operation may also use the locating the points in establishing the positions of the machine's surface relative to the balance of the casting. So that is also the functions of the pattern. Next function of the pattern is making the core print. So core print is the portions of the pattern, but it is not reflected on the casting objective. When we have required the hollow casting, so a core is used. For the core, it is required to make the print. It is the provision for providing the core print on the pattern. So core print provide the guide for the core to place properly in the mold cavity, and core print is the portion of the pattern. Core print does not appear on the casting because it is the blocked by the core, but it is added in the pattern, minimizing the casting defects attributable to the pattern. So properly constructed, clean and smooth surface patterns are the necessity in the making the good castings. And pattern with the rough neck surface and undercut, loosely mounted and in the greatly poor conditions attributable substantiate to defective casting containing the sands inclusions and other imperfection. So if the surface finish of pattern is the smooth, so it provide the good surface finish on the casting. If it is the rough surface and there have the uh, some net surface and undercut, so that will be the reflect on the casting. So your casting product may be the defective. That can include the some, that can contain the some inclusions and some other defects. And providing the ram of core, sometimes a part of the mold cavity is made with the core, which are positions by the pattern before the molding sands is the ram up. So the ram up core is held by the sands has been the packed around it. So that core is the attached with the pattern. So pattern provide the this core. So it is not so there have no required to place the separate core. So that is the core is the form before the ram up before the rammed of the sands. So sand is molding sand is the rammed rammed after the core is the placed by the pattern. So this type of core is generally called the ram up core. Providing the economy in the molding, so patterns should be constructed to achieve all possible saving in the cost of the casting. So what is the meaning of this? Means you have to use the material of the pattern as per your requirement, and you have to use the pattern as per your requirement, which type of the casting you have to produce, which type of quality you have required on the castings, and so all the things you have to calculate it before using the pattern, so you can reduce the cost of the casting process. So maybe this lecture will be the helpful for you. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comment box. Thank you.